Sometimes the most extraordinary journeys don't begin with a grand plan. They begin with a gentle whisper, a quiet pull in the heart that says, "This way." Once upon a time, in a world shimmering with endless possibilities, there lived two souls, Ruslan and Maria. Their meeting wasn't loud or dramatic. It felt more like two rivers finally finding each other after wandering through valleys and mountains. In each other, they found not just comfort, but a quiet sense of home. Every step they took together carried an unspoken promise. To walk not just through the world, but through the inner landscapes of their hearts. One golden morning, sunlight spilled softly over the earth. The breeze danced with the scent of flowers, awakening to the day. Ruslan and Maria wandered into a park and came across a simple book resting on a bench. Its title read, "The Healer Path." They sat beneath the wide branches of an old tree, the kind that has listened to centuries of human stories. The sky above them stretched in calm blue. Birds offered their songs like tiny prayers to the wind. They opened the book, and something happened. The words didn't just sit on the page, they breathed. Each sentence carried the gentle weight of wisdom, stories of healing, courage, love, and transformation. As they read, they didn't just learn. They remembered, they laughed, they dreamed aloud, and for a moment time itself seemed to pause, listening. Then, without even realizing how their steps aligned, they found themselves standing before a forest. This was no ordinary forest. The air changed the moment they stepped in. The temperature cooled, wrapping them in an earthy scent, the kind that only deep soil and ancient roots can give. Light poured down through the treetops in thin golden streams, drawing patterns on the path. Every leaf rustled with intention. Shadows moved like gentle spirits. A distant bird's call echoed like a guide, and slowly they began to understand. This forest was not just a place, it was a mirror. Every tree reflected a memory. Every shadow held an unspoken fear. Every ray of sunlight carried a quiet hope. It was their inner world made visible, a sacred place where they could meet themselves fully, where healing wasn't an idea but a living, breathing experience. Ruslan looked at Maria. Maria looked at Ruslan. And in their eyes, there was no fear, only trust. Trust in the journey, trust in the unfolding, trust in something bigger than both of them. As they walked deeper, they faced whispers from their past, old wounds, forgotten dreams, unspoken truths. But instead of turning away, they listened. Instead of hiding, they breathed through it together. And with each step, the forest softened. The light grew warmer and their hearts grew freer. When night finally came, they lay down on a bed of soft moss beneath a sky scattered with countless stars. The forest, once mysterious, now felt like a friend. They held each other close, not to protect one another from the darkness, but to share the light they had discovered within. And in that quiet stillness, they understood something powerful. Their journey wasn't about rushing toward a destination. It was about becoming more aware, more open, more alive. They realized that the forest was not a place you pass through once. It's a path you return to again and again, each time with a little more courage, a little more love. And so their story didn't end. It began with two souls, a forest, and a path that heals. And perhaps, my friends, each of us, in our own way, has a forest waiting for us. A place inside where shadows meet light, where wounds meet love, where endings quietly turn into beginnings. The path is not out there, the path is within, and it begins the moment we dare to take that first gentle step. So when the world calls you forward, even if it's just a whisper, listen, trust it, and walk your own healer's path. Because on the other side of fear is the kind of love that can change everything.